Hey everyone, in this video recording I want to go over how to install R and RStudio in your computer. This video is part of my statistical analysis using R course, and before I get a bunch of emails on access to these slides and other resources, these resources are only available to those that are affiliated with SUNY Upstate Medical University. And just giving you a heads up, even if you are affiliated and you do ask me for these resources, currently these resources are not available as of this recording on January 13, 2024. I'm probably like only 25% of the way done with all the material. I just do need to update my R and RStudio since I haven't updated the software for about 4 years already. So let me get to the demo then on how to install R and RStudio on your computer. So the first step that you want to do is that you want to install the basic R software. This is kind of like the back end environment. Even though you don't really use R, you still need R to kind of have RStudio working. So I'm going to go to rproject.org, and you can just enter your favorite web browser. And then you want to go to the CRAN right here. And as I mentioned here in step number 2, typically you want to go to the CRAN mirror in the location that's geographically closest to wherever you currently are. So for instance, right now I'm in the United States, so it makes sense for me to pick one of the CRAN mirrors here for the United States. And specifically, I'm in the state of New York. So I kind of looked on Google Maps, and the closest CRAN location to me is for Carnegie Mellon University. So I'm gonna click that one right here. If you have a Windows computer, it's pretty basic. You're just gonna click on that one and then go to the base package and install that one. I have a Mac though, so I'm gonna go to download R for Mac OS. And then you have two options. Actually you only have one option. It depends on like what type of chip you have. If you have a newer Mac, I think those are like maybe like 2021 and newer. Those are using the Apple Silicon chips. And then if you kind of have an older Mac, then you probably have an Intel one. If you don't know which one you have, if you go to your Apple icon here and then go to About This Mac, it should say right under processor what type of chip you have. So for me, I do have an older computer I'm using right now, so I'm on the Intel chip. So I'm going to install this one. By the way, this whole interface is really new for me because I was on version 10 and I had to update to version 14 in order for me to have this working, because it says right here that I need to have at least version, I think for RStudio I needed to have like the latest version for it to work. Oh, I just lost it. All right. So I successfully installed R. So now I'm going on to step number 3. This is RStudio. This is the front end environment. This is what most researchers and statisticians are using because it's a whole lot more user friendly. So I'm gonna go right here. And if you go here, you'll notice that it says in step number 1 to install R. We already did that. The reason why I kind of did it the longer way is because I wanted to show you that typically you want to pick the CRAN mirror that's closest to wherever you are. That's always been kind of the recommendation. And if you clicked on this one, it kind of just brings you to the download website, and I don't know where that's pulling it from. So I'm going to install RStudio. And it's probably going to show you whichever one. It's going to recognize if you're on a Mac or a Windows. And then that should be pretty straightforward. So I'm going to close that after. All right, that was pretty quick. So I'm going to just throw it into my apps folder, and then it will start working. All right. RStudio. All right. So I think this is not what RStudio is going to look like for you. I think this is typically not the default look of RStudio. It typically looks like what's shown here, kind of like a whiter background. I think it just knew my settings that I wanted already, so that's unfortunate, but it's okay. I can walk you through it anyway. So you want to go to File, New Script. So your R script is open. Let me just double check this is working. So if you do something like, I don't know, like 2 + 2, it should give you 4. All right, so this is working. All right, so I'm gonna go through the different windows in Lecture, but what I do want to show you is that if you wanted to match the settings that that I have, if you don't want to have a kind of a white background. And the reason why I like to have a darker background is because oftentimes I'm like writing code and running stats while I'm on like a flight or something, or on a train or something, going to conferences or something like that. And so I typically like to have a darker background to save on battery. It's also a little bit more focused for me too if I have a dark background with lighter color font for contrast. So if you wanted to do that, you would go to Edit, Settings, Pane Layout. And so most researchers, they typically want to have the console here on the upper left, and then the source here on the upper right. So this is kind of like where we're entering the code. And then I don't think it really matters too much on like the order on the lower window for the files, plots, and environment. But if you wanted to copy me for Lecture, this is the way I currently have it set up. So that's the setup for the window panes. And then for the colors itself, I think that's a older. So you want to go to Appearance, and then currently I have it to Sky, and I don't know what's there we go. I have it on Vibrant Ink. So if you wanted to copy me, that's the one I have it currently set up to. And then once you're happy with that, you can press Apply and OK. And that is currently the settings that I have. So this is a quick demo for a pause I wanted to do on how to install R in RStudio, and then you can go back to the lecture now on the rest of the Lecture 1 for Intro to R.